はい。お願いします。
お願いします。
はい。We'll loosen off a little bit. Vertical. Front and back. Side to side. It's a rotation. And a big wave through the spine. Okay, let's do a little bit for the body, just stretching up the neck. And down to the chin, to the chest. And to the sides. The shoulder. And there's the side. Just working half circles in the front. And the back. And then just moving the neck. A little figure of eights. A little bit of weight. Drawing the head down. Let it go a little bit 45 degrees to the front. And change sides. Under the chin, just pulling up a little bit Okay, pressing the head, pushing in, and a little bit down. Lengthen the neck, push back against the hands. And then to the back, a little bit more dynamic, drawing the body down. And against a little bit of resistance, drawing up, arching the back a little bit, and down. One more time. Okay, and just with the shoulders. And forwards. And one after the other, back. And the whole joint, rolling the arm forward. Okay, just working the chest in circles. A couple one way and a couple the other way. Chest coming here, opening the chest out. And just open it out, opening the diagonals. Okay, just circling towards the back. Yeah, and circling the hips. And change. Okay, and a little bit wider, just coming down to it. Squat. Keeping the weight in the heels, back nice and long. Sink down into it. With the knees, hands on the knees, let's twist through the spine. Looking over the rear shoulder. Straightening the foot furthest arm. A little bit wider with the legs. Just working side to side. Straighten the leg. Just one foot in front of the other. Change sides. And again, changing side. Draw the leg a little bit further down to the ground. And then knee into the ground. Just press a little bit into the front hip. Nice and slow. Coming up, changing sides. Stretch through the right leg. Yeah. Down into the mat and then stretching forwards. And nice and slow, coming back up. Okay, just loosening the knees. Stretching them back. And down. And back. Pull the toes up at the same time. Stretch. Down. And back. Just working the ankle. Both ways. Okay, press the heel out, straighten the leg as much as you can. A little bit off the ground. And then point the toes. Nice and straight. And then keeping it straight, just rolling the ankle. 5 or 6, and then the other way. And just shake it off. Okay, working the other side, rolling the foot. And the other side, the other way. Okay, pressing the heel, straighten the leg. Point the toes. And then rotating the foot. Shake it out. Okay, I'm just going to the whole body. That's loosen everything off. Good. And then just rolling the arms up and down. Into the swing. Nice and dynamic. The back nice and long. Knees really flexible. And this will let the weight enter through the feet into the ground. Okay, we'll go side to side. Let the hip twist a little bit. And then for the shoulders, nice big swing through the arm. Keep the feeling sinking down, especially as the hands come up. Let the feeling sink. And just change as you feel like it. And just letting the arms loose. You can let the body go as well. The lower you go down, the more you can release through the arm, just to let the arms loose. Lower body is nice and grounded. Play a little bit, loosening the arms, any direction you like. Just feel the arms connected into the lower back. If you want, you can come all the way down. Nice. And slowly start to bring the body back to the center. Bring the whole body in, nice and slow. Small movements, and just feel the weight of the body again. Whole body plugged into the ground. Good. Okay, we'll continue a little bit from yesterday. So take a BOKKEN. We will look at some. Yeah. Okay. Great. We'll just go straight in, nice and slow with the first 𝒊𝒏𝒈. So just into 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒕, going back and cutting down. Take it nice and slow, big, full, clear movements. In. Down. Down. That's it. Good. Nice. And just play a little bit with the softer form. So you're going to now find the back come in. So you just kind of roll through it. Nice one movement. So rather than stopping at the back, just find the back and then enter into the cut. Find the back, enter into the cut. So the first three really slow, so you just get the coordination for it. A little bit trick, a little bit different. The hips basically just stay in motion. So they go back in, go back in. So there's a kind of pulse through the whole system. There. There. Also, you can play with if you take the focus out, it's a bit easier to find the movement. So you can just go through it here, go through it here, go through it here. You really feel the swords anchored into the back and the spine. Nice, there we go. Yeah, this it's it's a tricky one because it's not really a technical point. It's like it's really a feeling point, and again, it's about this kind of sinking into the ground. So think, especially when you raise something off the ground, the feeling needs to be sinking down, irrespective of whether like the arm's actually lifting up and the body's actually coming up to a position. So for example, like the first degree position, the body's very long, but you want in this moment the body to be fully draining down through the ground. So the feeling should be sinking down, down, down as you do it. So if that's in place, what you can do is translate that feeling straight in to the cut. But if what I'm doing when I go back is kind of pulling the body up out of the ground, this will be very difficult because I'm going to have this kind of motion. So it's all going to be tied to my feeling of pushing the body up and then pushing it down. But just have the feeling constantly, you're just sinking down into the ground. So try and have a feeling when you raise the sword up, there's really a sinking down through the ground. And then if you've got that, you can just pass it forward as you go. So it's not really a technical point, although there's technical details to it. It's more a feeling as you go to sing. And it's what you're trying to get is this feeling of being constantly underneath the weapon. Underneath. So when you raise it, it's underneath. Underneath. So just feel that this kind of sense through the weapon. Through the weapon. Through the weapon. And then it's possible to go into this kind of a little bit more flexible. That's it. That's it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Nice. Right. Great, and then we'll take it into Zengo. So keep that kind of flexibility so as you go in. Now into the rotation, keep this flexible into the movement, flexible through. And again, this idea of sinking into the ground, you really want to maintain this feeling. What I want to do is pull the body up and then press it down again. So just think the body's constantly finding compressions into the ground. Down, down. And it's especially important when you're raising up. That's good. Great. Okay, we'll take it straight into 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒂𝒄𝒂𝒄. So cutting in 8 directions. Make it clear, establish so you've got a really clear north. You cut to the front, back, diagonal. Yeah, and then you cross it. 5, 6, 7, 8, and at 8, rotate the whole body back to the front. So you've got 8 movements with 9 rotating to the back, right to the first posture. Take your time with it. Good. There's a few variations on this, and there's variations also for the different 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒕. So there's one for number 2. There's also one for 6, and there's one for 7. But there's also another one you can change the foot that you rotate on. So in this case, you go like this. You cut the same 1, 2, and then rather than take the left foot to the right side, you take the right foot to the left. And you cut through this way. So you're doing now, rather than this footwork, you're doing this. Goes through this way. This is much trickier rotation. Take it nice and slow in the first few. Here you go. I'll try and show. Boom, show from here. Goes here 1, 2, and then you take the back foot through into the cut. And then here. And do this slow, and it really needs to be one movement. So just notice it's a tricky rotation. You'll really have to mobilize the whole hip. All the hips, both hips. It goes through this way. Just play with it a little bit. You can also do it in 8 directions. You might want to stick to 4 just to start, but give it a try. Nice and slow. You can also just practice the rotation. So if you're in 𝒂𝒗, you just take from the back foot, roll it. It's a little bit like you're going to step from the back foot, but you enter straight away into a rotation. Just watch the knees. It's a little bit of a tricky one for the knee.
Does it still go to the same direction?
No,
as
this one goes the other way.
Okay.
So if you're in this case, your left side, what you would normally do is cut to the back side. So you would do that way, this. And in this case, what you do is cut this way. So you go all the way around and then cut this way. So in this case, it's cutting the first two are the same, and then the next two are swapped over.
Okay.
Change. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Very nice. Great. Nice. Nice. Great. Yeah, and the last one you play with a little bit easier is actually just stepping through. So now just take the back foot through, and then you cut right to the rear. So just, we'll play with the rotations. Just get used to this one now. So you just roll the body in, come through. The key with them all is that they're going to be like one movement. So think of them as one time, not like rotating and then cutting. Think of it really like rotate, cut. So it's really a movement of one thing. A little bit like when we do like the fifth kumitachi yesterday. This one thing. So it's got to be kind of one movement. I use these when we're going to work in like variations, and the footwork tends to be a little bit more complicated. But all of them require you to be turning in and cutting, turning in and cutting, turning in and cutting. So that the cut's going to be actually the movement itself. Just play a little bit with them. Yeah. That's it. And all these kind of 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒈 are really about creating freedom in the footwork. So they're about kind of flexible footwork turning methods. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Great. Yeah, if you feel unstable on any of them, or one of them particularly, you can do an exercise, just find the top of the movement. So again, it's about this idea of when I raise, I need to be sinking the feeling down. So if during the rotation I'm pulling the body up, it will, especially if I do these big rotations, will just spin the body out of balance. So one thing you can do is just feel that as you go through this, you just enter into this kind of position, and you want to feel that the body's kind of hung down through the ground. So this goes through into it. So you can forget about the cut and just go there into the movement. The key thing is also the sword's not swinging back, so the sword's not going into this position here, but it's going to find the top, this. So you're really going to rotate it, this kind of position. The body's kind of hung down and the sword's anchoring up through the body. You're really doing something just like that, but you're doing a rotation through that. Yeah. Yeah, we go, great. Good. Okay, we're going to Yokomanuchi. We'll start to increase the angle out and do a similar thing, but without rotating, just going into different angles. So the first one, just to get the form clear, just working on the spot. So getting the Yokomanuchi in. And again, finding the center of the head, dropping the sword in. Center of the head, dropping the sword in. Again, really keeping this feeling of sinking underneath the weapon. Especially important now because I'm not finding the bag. So really try and feel you can anchor the movement into the center of the body and into the spine as you go through it. Just play with it just on the spine. Yeah, try and also feel this is really like a circular motion as well. So try and feel that it's the raise and the arc descends through it. Again, what you don't want to do in this case is like two movements, like find the center of the head and then just drop through it. So it'd be something like that. Try and get a sense that from this very first motion, it's one thing going right through the body. So sometimes it helps to just go straight through the cut this way. So just so you can get the feeling, it's as it goes up, I feel that it's already descending through the body, through it into the cut. So just feel that it's really one motion. So you've got something very flexible as it goes. Flexible as it goes. And the right hand's really the kind of anchor for the center of the cut. There. 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 Just go and feel it's one thing. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Great. That's it. Great, so what we'll do, we'll just increase the angle a little bit. So you've got this position here. The first one, you're going to go to the left side. So you're going to wedge right off an angle, around about 45 degrees for the cut this way, coming in. And then as you go back, you're going to refine the original line you're on. So if you do 45 degrees each time, you'll just refine the line this way. So you go here, and then here. And really feel that what you're not doing in this case is something like this. So it's not working side to side, it's working really at an angle. So if you imagine that the center of the circles here is where your partner would be, here you're going to really wedge off the line and find the center of that circle this way. So it's really about coming off at the center. If you imagine a wheel in front of you, you're going to go off at this spoke, off the wheel, around about 45 degrees. You increase the angle. Try and keep it again as one thing. One movement, one cut. One. So. There we go. There it is. Nice. Nice. Good. And then just increase it a little bit more. You're going to go to 90 now. So if this is the front position, you're really going to let the body go in this way. So there's a little bit of an entry in. So if you think of a circle in front of you, this is kind of the center's about here. What you do is advance around it. So I want to keep the same distance with the circle. It's less about just kind of wedging, less about just going to the side. It's really about entering as well. So from this position here, and then just hit the ground, and then you just reverse it back here, and see if you can basically hit the same two spots each time. This, It's this. Again, the priorities of the body work. Let the body really go into it. So, working about 90 degrees. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Wow. Whoa. That's it. Nice. Good. Okay, now you're gonna play with. Imagine again if you've got the spoke of a wheel, you're gonna go right to the far end of it now. So just watch this. This is different from this. I'll show what it is. In this case, you want it to go in and around to the back this way. So it's really coming through at a wedge. This is really like an 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 technique. So what it's not is something like this. So this is really just rotating on the spot. Really feel that this is like an entry through. So I want to get to the opposite side and find the ground this way. So it's more like an 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 through this way. And there's a moment where you're kind of wedging the body through. So the body's coming in and then here this way. Tricky. Everything goes forward, rotates, and then you need to settle into the ground at the same time with the cut. So just play a little bit with it. You're going in and then settling. Take it nice and slow. In, settling through the cut. Just try. Just try and make it as big as you can. Think that you're trying to get to the back of someone. Right to the back. Yeah, good. Nice.
Thank you, Michael. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice, there we go. Yeah. Great. Yeah, great. That's it. Yeah, you might find it useful in this one also to forget about the cut as well. So also think really what you're doing is body work. So it's not really about the sword work. What can tend to happen with this one is something like this. I kind of go and then so it kind of lift it and then find the rotation. Think that from the very first moment you're doing a kind of entry rotation. So what you're doing straight away is rolling the body through into it. So think that very first moment, it's not so much like a 𝒂𝒑𝒏 and then tenkan. It's really like 𝒂𝒑𝒏 tenkan. So you're going like this. So you want the whole feeling to be entering and rotating in. You can also imagine you're going to take if you imagine someone's in front of you, imagine you were to advance in, take the back of their neck and then control them this way. This is one of the variations we use in the kumitachi. But you want to feel that you're actually entering to the back. You think about 𝒂𝒑𝒏, all these kind of variations of techniques where we go right into the back this way. And my feeling is that I need to be, as I go in, rotating the body in, not kind of coming forward and then rotating. So don't save the rotation for the last moment, but actually make it part of the initial movement. Just here, just play with it. What was that? No. Whoa! There we go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nice. Great. And then the other thing you can do with the yokomuchi is obviously change the angle. So lots of the variations when we do the kumitachi work on kind of shifting the angle of the attack. So what you can do is the same kind of practice, just feel that you shift the angle down. So the main thing that changes is the body work. So the hips change, the angle changes on the delivery of the cut. So just play with it. You can also just reset every time back. So you've got a big contrast when you go into it. into it. So much more demanding in terms of balance because the settling needs to really be in place. I need to be really dropping the weight of the body into the ground. There. Give it a try. So just play a little bit. You've got high strikes and low. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the other one you've got is a little bit more subtle, but if you imagine the basic yokomanuchi is basically cutting from the side of the head through to the center of the body. Now, this is where a little bit the bokken work and the shinken work kind of a little bit mixed, and there's different applications of it. Would be different if you had a shinken than the bokken, but what you've got in the sense now is this feeling of slicing above the top. So your target in terms of the bokken work is this part of the body. So you're going to kind of hit the clavicle to collapse the body this way. With shinken work, this will go straight through the head, but through the neck, like this way. So you would either do it to the back, where you're slicing the back of the neck. And this is the same with the lower movement. You're going to slice through the joint of the leg. When we do bokken work, you're actually hitting the knee. So I'm trying to impact onto the knee. And when you do this one a little bit higher, imagine you're hitting onto the clavicle. You're trying to break the shoulder bone. Or you're trying to break the clavicle here. So that you've got this motion. So this is a really suppressive motion. And not necessarily break it, but control the person's posture. So a lot of the variations we work on these kind of movements where you're actually collapsing into the structure this way. This is one of the weak points of the body. So you can really collapse the whole structure through it. So just imagine you're coming through. It's either going to go to the back of the head, just the side of the body, just a little bit higher than the basic. Basics there. It's a little bit off at an angle. So it's a little kind of subtle variation. Yeah. And it's a little bit more like this kind of 𝒂𝒂 that you'll find in Kenjutsu schools, which is basically slicing the body this way. This way. There. Yeah, great. Great. Okay, we'll just go to the third kumitachi. So if you remember from yesterday, it's a very short movement. So you've got the snap, roll back, finish. So it's 3 movements done as really 2. So the snap, block back, finish. Nice and sharp. That's it. Snap, block, finish. Snap, block, finish. Keep that kind of calm as you go. Yeah, good. Good. Nice. Okay, all the 𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒅, when we go into variations, they basically have there's windows of opportunity. Most 𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒅 have two, and the longer ones have a few more openings in them. So in this one, the two openings are here. When you've got this position, as I go into the block, that's the first window where I can create a variation. The second window is this movement as you come into the strike, so just after the block. So the two variations, this one are just before the block and just after the block. Those are the two windows where you can change the movement. The first one we'll do is just here, you snap in. And now rather than doing that blocking back, you enter in to the side this way. So this is a really sharp movement, a little bit very specific to this 𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒅. It goes here and then you coil the body around. And then it's a very, very sharp movement. So in this case, not something like that, which is too big, I don't really have time for. It's just going to snap with the body. So you do that and then that. So I just want the body to be basically placed on the person's body, the sword placed on their body. This comes in. So that as the person goes in here, the sword's pressing onto the structure. Give it a try. Got it. Yes. Here's here. 1, 2. There. There. Got it. Yeah, no, see, this is where almost all these variations, they come from Shinken work. So what you would do with a sword is really something like this. So you would basically slice the body through. So your aim would be like this position and then cutting through. When we do it with the BOKKEN, because we're looking with a different intention to kind of control and neutralize the person, what you want is a kind of cushioning blow as you go in. So what you're looking for is the blow to kind of land onto the body and compress the structure into the ground, or decompress not compress the structure as you go. So you want this. So it's got this kind of impact, the feelings that you can just press through this way, through and control. So you're trying to get to a position of kind of suppression. This. So it's less in this case about that kind of motion, kind of slice through. Don't think about cutting. Think about controlling this way. Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly. Oh, nice. Okay, we'll do one for the other window. So in this case, you've got the snap, the block. Now this is where you would go into the finish, go back, take control of the line. In this case, you're going to change it. So you go 1, 2, and then just allow the body to really enter off the line. The person's going to come around, you meet them, and you go around this way. So big variation. This is the basic one, and then there's lots of variations from this variation. Goes here. And the aim is to get onto the back of the neck in this one. So it's a big movement. 1, 2, 3. This one. That's your basic one. What you can also do is imagine you're taking the knee to the side. Yeah, so you want to get to the back of the knee and strike through. Goes here, here, here. More to the top. 1, 2, 3. Just needs to really come together as one thing. 1. 1. That's it. Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah, and then one variation that you can do on this is basically really a suppression technique. So you're in this position here, and then what you do is roll into it and press the sword into the side of the body. So you're using the sword to protect the body as you go in, and you press into the side of the body with the ken. So you're going to go to this position again onto the body. So it's really a kind of suppressing technique, not using the blade. Goes here, goes 1, 2, and then 3 goes in. All these suppression works are really great, especially when you do them with a partner, because you need to be super sharp with the 𝒂𝒂𝒂, because it's very easy for them to fail. So just think about everything coming together as one. So it's really about the timing, the 𝒂𝒂𝒂 in the body there. So it needs to be a really sharp sense of connection through the body. Just hit 1, 2, 3. Protecting as you go. Just try.
Okay, can I see your left hand?
Yeah, you go. See? Yeah, in this one you go here, this way. So you're in this position in this one. This is like a kind of 𝒂𝒑 position. This. And this one's going to be really pressing in, and this one's kind of a support for it. And this is to stop basically the person's blade going into the body.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're really lucky with this one, what you can also do is if you miss the body, you can find the sword. So you can go onto the sword and then control the sword this way. So if you're super lucky, timings, everything's perfect. You go here and then you feel like you go here, press it, roll it through this way. It's a really sword suppression technique. Just play the last few, just play with these different variations. The last 30 seconds or so. And your basic's really the core of it. There, there, there. And all these variations just basically wedge off at different angles. There. Sometimes the variation wedges straight through. In this case, just going to wedge off at an angle. Goes there. That's it. Yeah. Great. Okay, we'll stop there. The 3 is one of the shortest 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 with a ton of variations. There's a whole load of variations that you can use with them. These are all kind of wedging up on and off the line, wedging off the line, one side off the line, the other side. So really important. The key thing is knowing that we're doing also, in a way, controlling work. So rather than thinking about cutting through the person, you're thinking about how to suppress them. So this is one of the characteristics in the style we do. So okay, we've finished. Hi, domo arigatou gozaimashita. Great. Interesting, because they all rely on your ability to cut through the person. So that ability to in the basic of just slicing through the person and bringing it to an end is what gives you the ability to then start to go into control, neutralize.